If you're an entrepreneur and your business is not yet registered, if you're looking to grow your registered business, or you're an accomplished professional. Our Elevate program supports you with access to finance, access to markets, access to capacity building. Sign up now or refer a friend at ecobank.com/elevate. Elevate by EcoBank. A better way, a better Africa.
Sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
One of the most significant constitutional questions currently before the courts concerns the appointment of the Gambia's new Chief Justice. The Gambia Bar Association, GBA, has instituted legal proceedings challenging aspects of the appointment process. Because the matter is now before the courts, today's conversation will not seek to litigate the case on air or invite comment on issues that are properly for the judiciary to determine. Instead, we'll explore the broader constitutional principles at stake, the role of the Bar Association in safeguarding the rule of law, and why it believes, the GBA that is, that this case raises issues of public importance. And joining us this morning is the president of the Gambia Bar Association, Neneh Cham, Neneh E. Cham, Neneh MC Cham, to many people. Neneh, good to have you back on Coffee Time. You've not been here for a very long time.
For good reason. I've been bereaved as well, so that slowed down my work.
Yes, accept our sympathy.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Uncle Peter. Good morning to your viewers and your listeners. It's great to be back on your show. Thank you for having me.
For those who may not be familiar with the role of the GBA, its mandate, what's its mandate? It's the role it plays in maintaining or promoting the rule of law and order in our country.
Yeah. The Gambia Bar Association, as you know, is an association, a body of legal practitioners in the Gambia here. And our mandate, core mandate, is to defend the rule of law, defend human rights and justice, independence of the judiciary, to guard safely. We're like a watchdog for society. And we take very seriously this role that we have given ourselves. Nobody pays us nobody gets paid at Gambia Bar Association. Oh. Yes, it's service that we're rendering, and we know that we are the best to render. And so in that front, that is why, the Gambia Bar Association does a lot of the work that it does and speaks out and just checking to see, whether we have not derailed, particularly in this new dispensation, when we have sought to, move away from and completely turn upside down the way things used to happen, where there was completely breakdown of the rule of law. No confidence in the judiciary and violations all over the place. Of course, there are other aspects of our mandate which, promote professional development for our members and others. But basically, this is what we do at the Gambia Bar Association.
Fantastic. And it's not work that is obvious to most Gambians. But a couple of weeks ago, the GBA was thrust into the spotlight and enmeshed in some, fierce public debate after it came out with a press release on the appointment of the next Chief Justice. Why did the GBA feel that this was a matter for judicial intervention rather than maybe engagement through other channels?
No, at the time it was a proposed appointment. I have to make that clear. The appointment only happened, well, we became aware of it on Friday. The Gambia Bar Association, we heard that Senior Counsel Mr. Fall, now appointed Chief Justice, was being considered, was the only person being considered for the job, actually, was being considered to be appointed Chief Justice. And we knew that he's not qualified under the Section 139. So we suspected there was a problem, of course, because we knew that he wasn't. So we met and we called the general. It's such an important issue, Peter. I mean, I can't overestimate it. We called a meeting, and the meeting resolved that, of course, I mean, it was unanimous, both members who attended the meeting in person and online, that, we believe he didn't qualify. So he's one of us. He's a senior counsel of over 40 years standing, distinguished career. Many of us, I don't know him, by the way, very well. I've only seen him a couple of times, but I've heard about him. And I have utmost respect for him. And so does each and every single member of the Gambia Bar. And this was made clear at the meeting. And that this was not about him, not about his person. And you have seen that in every single statement that we have written, just to be clear, and all the letters that went. So we thought engagement, which is what we do all the time. We don't rush like lawyers, don't just rush to court. You advise, you try to negotiate before. And then court is the last resort, even in ordinary cases. So we resolved to write letters. You've seen in the statement. Yes. I don't want to go over them. We wrote to the appointing authority, His Excellency the President, to draw his attention in case he didn't know. And we also wrote to the Attorney General to draw to his attention that there is an issue here that should be dealt with. We also wrote to the Judicial Service Commission also, And Uncle Peter, after 2 weeks, no response. Absolutely.
From all three addresses?
No, from the JSC we got a response saying that, but, their role was just they were consulted and they had forwarded whatever their views were and they were functus. I have that letter. At least, that's acknowledgement that you've received it, and we appreciated that. But not a single response, either orally or in writing, to the other 2 letters. So we wrote again over a week ago to the Attorney General, because he's the chief legal advisor of government. And any such appointment, you would presume that it would be on his advice as to whether or not it's in accordance with the law. And we wrote back saying, we didn't hear from you. But now, because then the rumors, this is Gambia. It's becoming stronger and stronger that it's actually been done. That's what we heard, And so we wrote back to say, can you confirm? You haven't responded, but can you please confirm whether it has taken place or not? To date, as I'm sitting here, not a single response. Not a response.
Oh, wow.
Not a response. Complete mute and silence.
What message does that
send
to the general public about the relationship, in particular, between the GBA?
Oh, no, the relationship prior to this,
yeah.
Very, very good. My AG Jallo is I just pick up the phone and call him. If he sees my missed call, he calls me back. A lot of issues are dealt with very cordially between myself, himself, even myself and, former CJ. We constantly have to communicate. It doesn't have to be in letters or press statements. Whenever you see that, that's because other things have not worked. So prior to this, I personally, as president of the bar, feel very surprised and I have to say disappointed that, he didn't see it fit to respond anyway, or even call us in. If there's a crisis, you were pretending there's not a crisis. We're saying there is a crisis. We could have even sat down and thrashed this out. Okay, we don't think. Do you think? Yes, okay. And then we could have got out of there saying, oh yeah, okay, he qualifies. So let's. But the complete silence is what has brought us to where we are, and we feel very strongly because a lot of things are at stake here. Public confidence in the justice system we had lost and we had kind of regained, and we don't want to lose again. And if there's a huge question mark over the head of whoever is going to be head of the judiciary, the highest judicial office, I think that ought to have been resolved without having to go to court. And since it hadn't been, we suddenly, and one thing, Uncle Peter, I think for most such appointments, there's usually a press statement or announcement on GRTS. I was constantly
glued to your
waiting for the appointment, and it was elusive. It was just nowhere. And that also, you wonder why. Why was this? Yeah. Where's the transparency in this appointment? And it is very, very important. Transparency is important. Accountability. These are issues for all of us.
Sure.
Nobody's an exception, particularly to. So really, this is one of the reasons why this was the last resort. We are not enjoying it. Trust me, I'm not enjoying it. It's not a very good situation for all of us to be in.
So he was sworn in on Friday. When did you, lodge your case with
we filed it on Friday.
You filed it?
We filed it, yes, because we got confirmation. We saw other communication, internal communication around, I won't say exactly, which left us in no doubt that he had actually been, because you can't swear somebody in without having appointed them. And so, we got confirmation, confident enough. Okay. And that's what was when we filed.
And what message do you hope this case sends about institutions' role in a constitutional democracy?
Well, the message it's sending, particularly to the appointing authority, be it the president or anybody else, is that they must stick to the Constitution, the provisions. Particularly when you're appointing and or dismissing, you must abide by the rule of law. Otherwise, we risk regressing. So the message for us is to continue to be vigilant, and for them, it is to not ignore the Gambia Bar Association. We don't just get up and say, okay, today we're going to object to this. Today these are, when we object, when we raise concerns, shall I say, that's a better phrase, there is always something there. And we can be wrong, yes, but dialogue, we could have been engaged on this issue, and this issue could have been resolved, yes. I know if it was me personally, I would have, but it's not me, it's somebody else involved, so... I hope it's sending a good message to the public. I've been inundated. God. Wow. I think my phone, in fact, it has a problem right now because I'm constantly on it.
But, Neneh, without discussing the merits of the case,
sure, I will not do that.
What constitutional principles does the GBA believe are most important in the appointment of a Chief Justice?
We are guided by the law. Of course, the person there, you presume that the person of great integrity, very knowledgeable in the law by virtue of their experience and all of that, then we follow the law. That says that gives the qualifications, Section 139, of somebody to be appointed a Supreme Court. You're qualified to be appointed Chief Justice, you're qualified to be appointed Supreme Court judge. And there's two different routes. The route, if you're a judge, which doesn't apply in this case. As far as we know, he's never been a judge. It's just like myself, a legal practitioner. And the other, so the last limb of that 139(2) says that the person must be a legal practitioner, who has practiced, before a court of, I'm just trying to paraphrase here, court of unlimited jurisdiction in civil or criminal cases in a common law country, for a period of 12 years. These are the qualifications, not what I think or anybody else thinks, but what the Constitution prescribes is the qualification. If the qualification was just a legal practitioner, he's over. Really. There's no question about his qualifications, his ability as a legal practitioner, and even competence to be appointed to carry out the role of Chief Justice. That is not the point. The point is the law must be respected, and there are no exceptions. Equality before the law. The GBA cannot raise concerns when appointments and or dismissals or any other act prescribed under the Constitution should have been done, wasn't done. Speak out against those and keep mute on one, such as this one, to the highest judicial office involving one of our own. What do you think the public would think if we just look the other way. Like some people, honestly, I have to be honest with you, some people are saying, Neneh, baile bi mu jala rek. I mean, it's scary.
And that is very Gambian, isn't it?
No, it is, but it is scary.
I know.
Otherwise, let us tear up the constitution and just do maslaha all the time. And I will tell you this here. That's why we say it's not even, about him. If any other member, legal practitioner, were in this position, you will see exactly the same stance, including those here that we know and we work with every single day and are very close to. So the GBA is a very independent organization, institution. We are very independent. We do not enter into politics. We're non-political, of course. As I just said, we don't enter into politics. We don't enter into. We try to be objective. We try to guard our independence jealously, because that is the only way that we can advocate for what we do, which is the independence of the judiciary in this case, and also general administration of justice, because that is why we are all in this job, to see that at the end of the day justice is had. But you cannot do that if there's no respect for the rule of law. You have to be, there has to be, complete and utter respect and no exceptions at all times. So whenever we feel, as the Gambia Bar Association, there is a threat such as this one, we have to speak out, and we do speak out.
Okay.
Yes.
And why do you think the office of the Chief Justice is so central to public confidence in the administration?
He's the head of the judiciary. And it lies in our courts. He's the head of the judiciary. The Chief Justice is the chair, let me put it that way, the highest court of the land. And all cases go to that. Well, all cases that are appealed up to the Supreme Court get there. And he, the Chief Justice, presides over that court. So there definitely, absolutely needs to be utter, complete, let me say, complete confidence in the man who heads that judiciary. Not, as I said, his personal character, but that his appointment is legitimate, is in accordance with the law, so that, there can be trust, public trust. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is so important.
Incidentally, this is happening against the background of the Gambia hosting the first tripartite conference on the Latimer House principles. The question is, how important is the perception as well as the reality of judicial independence?
It's very important. You were there. I was happy to see you there.
Thank you.
The perception is everything. I mean, the fact of it, you can say it all you like. Oh, we have judicial independence, we have this, we have that. If people don't see it happening, there is a problem. And this doesn't help that, public the perception. Because you talk to people, the ordinary people,
Sure.
and it's like, okay, are we going backwards? So it certainly doesn't help it. You heard there, all the nice speeches were made. Even on the panels, all the right things were said. We pat ourselves on the back more than we actually look at what challenges we face. Anyway, I was on it's okay to pat yourself on the back. This is Neneh Cham speaking here. It's okay to pat yourself on the back. Yeah?
You needed to make that very clear.
Yes, it's okay to pat yourself on the back on the things that you've done. That is what is expected. And, we commend you for that. But as leaders, we really need to listen to those who tell us otherwise. We need to listen to dissent. We need to listen to concerns, because that's the only way you can identify them. In fact, they do the job for you by identifying the gaps in what you ought to do and what not to do. So coming off the back of that conference, I certainly didn't expect this would come this far, because I was very reassured by a lot of the statements I made and that were made there. And when we were in the crisis, we were still in the crisis, and, yes. And then we had the letters that were not responded to, but I thought, okay, I see the commitment, because I take people for what they show me, not what other people tell me about them. And I was utterly disappointed that shortly after that, they went ahead anyway without any engagement with the GBA. So what confidence would I have that the action plan that was arrived at and all other documents that were arrived at the end of that conference would be implemented? The need for clear separation of powers. Of course, they work together in mutual respect, but there is separation of powers so that one power will not control the other power. This is the three arms of government, of course. And that is one of the core principles discussed there. And as well as independence, the independence of the judiciary. So I think we should avoid, I get into the vernacular again, something that would, anyway.
We're talking to Neneh Cham. She's the president of the Gambia Bar Association. More generally, do you believe the Gambia's framework for appointing senior judges provides sufficient transparency and public confidence, or do we need reforms?
Oh, we definitely need reforms. We need reforms. Look at this one, for example. I mean, okay, let me go back a bit. I have to remind people that we're still using the 1997 Constitution.
Yes, we are.
Yes. Attempts have failed. This is another reason why that needs to be picked up again. There are numerous, the checks and balances are not there. The appointment, it says the president shall appoint in consultation with the Judicial Service Commission. Point. As the French would say. That's it.
And consultation in this country could be anybody's interpretation.
Consultation could be. No. Well, consultation means I give you my opinion.
Yeah, because
you
somebody can just call and say, consult Neneh.
Oh, no. Even if they consult, I know they consulted the JSC. But you're not bound to accept that, are you? He can say, well, I agree. If you say no, he'll say no. Yeah, well, you say no, but I agree. It's consultation. The power is entirely concentrated in the hands of the president. Nothing wrong with the president appointing, but I think, and the whole process, do you know about how it all happened?
No, I don't. I was going to ask.
Well, there you are.
What is the process involved?
It just involves, I think, them writing to the JSC and saying, we're intending to. I have not seen any of the processes, I have to tell you. So how transparent this whole thing is. I can just hazard a guess that the letter would come saying that we're considering appointing such and such and such. I don't know. I don't even know I can't even venture to say what it says, what's your opinion or whatever, I don't know. And then, the JSC would meet and decide what to respond. To date, I have not seen that response as well. But it is believed that, I don't know, it was endorsed, but that I have not seen, so I have to be careful about that. But we certainly need reform. And for the appointment of other judges, he does so on the recommendation of the JSC. You wonder why the difference. On the recommendation, because the JSC would be perhaps in a better position to identify or to accept and to vet, which is what they normally do, and then say, okay, there's vacancy in this court, and we recommend Uncle Peter, we recommend Neneh, and so on, after careful consideration. And, of course, at the end of the day, he's going to appoint His Excellency the President. So we definitely need reform in this area. As you say, public perception is very, very important, and it determines whether confidence is there or not. Because if you hide things, people think you have something to hide.
Yeah.
Or if you don't openly show how the whole process works. So we need transparency and all of that in the process. So I agree entirely.
And still on the issue of public perception, some people see legal challenges of this nature as being political. I mean, is there any politics in this?
No. Well, anyone who knows Neneh Cham, anyone who knows me knows that I never allow myself to get into politics.
Even though Neneh is the offspring of a politician.
Oh, yes. And by the way, people are always harassing me, insisting that I must get into politics. I say, okay, is it hereditary? I always ask that question. Is it hereditary? No. And having been born and brought up, of course there are a lot of positive things, but there are a lot of other things also that I don't think I will enjoy going into politics. So really, I can assure them, whether I am leading GBA or not, GBA will consistently remain non-political, apolitical, whatever you want to call it. Of course, politics is in everything, but not party politics or as is being insinuated. We will not. We have to regard very jealously our role and our credibility and the integrity of the organization, not to enter into the arena of politics and be taking sides. Nobody will take us seriously, and that is not certainly what GBA is all about.
Mm-hmm. What do you have to say to people who worry that this case, and not just this case, disputes over judicial appointments, risk undermining confidence in our courts?
Well, yes, but that's the reality. They risk undermining. I mean, we've already said that. They risk undermining because then the ordinary person is thinking, okay, oh, wow, this place is a mess. You know, how am I able to trust this? But I say, we must do what we must do. We cannot compromise. The line is drawn there. We cannot compromise the need, the duty, the obligation, the constitutional requirement to abide by the laws of this land, but more particularly the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia. That is where the line is drawn. So if it's anything that can be discussed or and agreed upon, fine. But when it comes to to compliance with the law, the Constitution of the Gambia, there should be no compromise on that. Of course, as I said, we didn't get up and go to court. We engaged. We tried to engage to avoid going to court because, as I said earlier, it is not a pleasant situation to be in. And you can take it from me personally, and also as president of the Gambia Bar Association. But it is the resolve of the general membership that we cannot stand idly by and watch a non-compliance of this nature, of this magnitude. I mean, of course, non-compliance is non-compliance, but the office, that is what makes it really a very serious issue. And it is good, in a way. We test the laws all the time. We test the courts. That's what the courts are there for. When there's dispute in how things should go and what the law says, interpretation of the law, we go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will make a pronouncement on it, setting a judicial precedent for other cases to come. And we're supposed to learn from them so that we do not repeat them. Yes.
It's a very interesting case. When will hearing begin? Do we have any indication?
We don't know yet. We don't know. We know it has been issued. It was issued by the CJ, Honorable Justice Hassan Jallow, just before he left. But the assignment, and incidentally, it was the last day of term for the superior courts. So we come back in October. So when they were in the hands of the court, and it should be assigned to the judges who will hear it, and then we'll take it from there. We still hope, that can be resolved. We still hope that we'd rather it be resolved that we don't actually go to the end of the case because it's not a nice.
And what would resolution be for the GBA? That the case, you say you'd rather it would be resolved.
Yes.
And what
no, it's to go back. I'm talking to the appointing or whoever to go back and comply with the law. No, our position will not change. What I'm saying is I'm hoping that, there'll be second thoughts. There'll be reconsideration of the position of the person concerned, my learned senior, or government. The appointing authority, we're hoping. But we will not waver. I think if we do, we will not worth our salt. And nobody would ever listen to it.
And just finally, What lesson do you hope the public will take from this case, this process, no matter how the court rules ultimately?
Well, I hope the public will see this as a vibrant part of the exercise of our democracy and our rights, citizens' rights, organizations' rights, to question, to petition the courts when they are aggrieved about anything, or particularly such appointment. I think they should be pleased that the GBA is taking this action on all our behalf to ensure that the rule of law prevails at all times, to ensure that we do not regress back. Some of it, I have to say, personally, you've got me saying déjà vu. And that is scary.
In the past.
Oh, yes, and that is scary. It is scary. There's so many Gambians, both here and abroad, legal practitioners that can be chosen from, that will be qualified. GBA doesn't have any particular candidate in mind, despite some of the things you see. We do not. I'm qualified. Okay, I have a job. And I have a job, and I don't fancy the bench just yet. The wonderful job they do, I'd rather be on this side. But there are many who fit the criteria, who if appointed, the GBA will not flinch. But I'm afraid in this time, we feel that the appointment is not in accordance with the law, and we will stick it out. Yes, and we had indicated in the correspondence that we did with the appointing authority that should they go ahead, we will consider the appropriate steps that to take in the circumstances, which is the challenge. And the challenge is good. Let's not look at things as not be negative all the time. No, it's good for our democracy. It's good for the Supreme Court to guide us on these issues, and it will set a precedent, a landmark one, for that matter. Yeah.
Neneh, any final thoughts?
Final thoughts, I wish we didn't have to go through this. I wish we didn't have to go through this. I think I've in many ways said what my thoughts on this, the thoughts of GBA on this, that I know personally if it were me in the center of all of this, I would have said, I would have declined, personally. Not saying that he should, but it's also an option which can be considered to deal or resolve this matter. So I want to say that the GBA will remain steadfast in carrying out our mandate like I've set out here. So I don't think anybody should think otherwise. We will, at all times. I've heard that some people say that, where was GBA? That's another conversation. The GBA was exactly where it is today. Though divided at the time, members. We know what it was like then, that time, and you certainly can't blame some people. But the GBA always met whenever such happened, or any other threat to the supremacy and the effect of the Constitution, spoke out, wrote statements, even boycotted courts. And we saw how many of our members had suffered for just resisting violations of and non-compliance with the Constitution. Our members have been shot at, our members have been detained, our members have been labelled opposition. And some really still can't get rid of the label. But I want to speak to Gambians here, so that any issue that comes out, try to understand the issue. Yeah, you're not a lawyer, but try to understand the issue. Seek clarification on the issue. The GBA will do its best to clarify. Our doors are open. Our members, even if I don't come here, Salute, I was here the other day, we try to clarify. Make an informed decision, having only Gambia in mind. Having only Gambia and what is in the interest of Gambia, and upholding the supreme law of the land, the provisions of the Constitution and other laws of the Gambia. That is where that is where we should be as Gambians. But we tend to farle. We tend to do that. We tend to see things differently depending on who it affects. I said that in my TRRC testimony because that really troubles me. I think we should be able to tell truth to power. We should be able to see the truth and tell each other, including our relatives and our friends, what we believe, and we guide them for the interest of Gambia. I hear patriotism, patriotism, patriotism. That is what patriotism really means. Seeing nothing but what is in the interest of your country and your people. What will advance it, not what will take it back. We have enough experience to never go back to an era when there's complete breakdown of rule of law. And it doesn't happen in one day. It happens gradually. So wherever it rears its ugly head, we should see it and make sure that it is dealt with so that we can move this country forward. Ensure that our institutions are strong and independent as spelled out in our laws, and respect them. And there is no exception to that. We can agree to disagree.
Absolutely.
We'll let the courts decide. Thank you very much, Uncle Peter.
Neneh, thank you. A sincere thanks to the President of the Gambia Bar Association, Neneh Cham.
If you're an entrepreneur and your business is not yet registered, if you're looking to grow your registered business, or you're an accomplished professional, our Elevate program supports you with access to finance, access to markets, access to capacity building. Sign up now or refer a friend at ecobank.com/elevate. Elevate by EcoBank. A better way, a better Africa.
yëpp lay fay. sant yàlla. looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.